Can we talk about how the director said Galadriel is in love with him? I was like, oh yeah, I have that article actually. So as if like this whole thing wasn't bad enough, the Sauron-Galadriel fight completely contrived and unnecessary, but they wanted them to do a rematch, so they got it. And no matter if it made sense, no matter if it was an affront to Celebrimbor's sacrifice, with Galadriel just choosing not to flee, but to confront Sauron one more time, which led to Sauron getting the 9 rings for men. So I'm sure Celebrimbor is happy about that his sacrifice meant nothing. But here we have the final, not final, I don't know. Could be. The final confrontation between Sauron and Galadriel, but actually it's a rematch, I guess. And this is an exclusive interview with the director of this episode, Charlotte Brandstrom from Entertainment Weekly. The Rings of Power finale director breaks down that Sauron-Galadriel duel. It says Charlotte Brandstrom talks the rehearsals and in-camera trickery that went into the shape-shifting sword fight between Middle-earth's 2 biggest power players. Oh yeah, he changed wigs several times, yeah. Great shape-shifting there. And I think he changed into Galadriel once. Hell hath no fury like an elf spurned. Oh boy. This isn't starting out that well, is it? One of the stronger character relationships in Season 1 of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power was the friendship between Galadriel and Halbrand. When Halbrand turned out to be Sauron in disguise, their partnership came to an emphatic end. And to be honest, everyone could tell that Halbrand was Sauron. The showrunners and writers thought that they were being clever. Was it the first line that he said looks can be deceiving? The premiere of this episode, he said the tides of fate are flowing, which is a line that Galadriel has in The Lord of the Rings. So she's just stealing lines from Sauron now. Alright, let's continue. Ever since then, these 2 power players have spent Season 2 on opposite sides of the board. So when they finally came together again in the season finale, director Charlotte Brandstrom knew the reunion had to make an impact. I feel like we've been waiting for the confrontation between Sauron and Galadriel throughout the season. Brandstrom, who directed half the episodes of Season 2, including the final 2, tells Entertainment Weekly. This is the first time they've seen each other again since she was deceived by him in the first season. So I said, nobody else can touch that one. I really need to work with the actors on it. Yeah, she was deceived. Galadriel, one of the wisest elves, who was never deceived by Sauron, but okay, you know, canon doesn't matter in this show. Also, I don't think Halbrand actually ever lied to Galadriel, so it also just made her that much more stupid looking to be deceived by him. She was so bullish about her hunt for Sauron that she just refused to take Halbrand at face value. He even said, like, with the sigil that he carried around, he told her that he got it off a dead man, and she didn't believe him. And he even says it later. I never lied to you. In the finale, I think I never lied to you. Yeah, it's true. She was just that stupid. Thanks, Amazon. Oh, here we go. After swaggering through Season 1 as the scruffy rogue Halbrand, oh boy, Sauron has spent Season 2 disguised as a beautiful elf named Anatar. Yeah, they put a wig on. Great. Shapeshifting there. But in this fight with Galadriel, he brings back his Halbrand form to unnerve her. For the cast and crew, this transformation was easier said than done. Let's continue with her comments about the shapeshifting and how the fight was coordinated. The director continues saying, I wanted the fact that he starts changing shapes and becomes all these different characters to be motivated by something. He's not doing it for fun. So he was doing it because she managed to kick him down and he fell on his back. He needed to reassert his power. He felt weaker. So he wanted to destabilize her, and that's why he's doing it. That was pretty funny looking when 5'0" Galadriel kicks Sauron and he falls back. Totally believable. It's funny, like here she's talking about the use of the crown in their fight scenes. And she says he's obviously using the crown a lot, which was actually a very difficult move for him to play around with the crown. That took a lot of rehearsals. I wonder how much money it cost for something that made no sense. Why was the crown in here to begin with? He didn't even put it on at the end. There's actually the final shot we see of him, I think, is him holding Feanor's hammer. I don't even know where he pulled that out from. I didn't see him have it before now, but I think it would have looked cooler if he had put on the crown. Whatever. Who knows where he was holding that hammer? So yeah, that was probably the most difficult element for Charlie, to make sure the crown came in at the right moments when she was hitting him. I mean, why? Why even have it? And apparently it was like so difficult to choreograph. By the way, in lore, Morgoth's crown was remade as a collar for him by the Valar and was banished altogether into the void. Yeah, they even say that. No, they don't say that. They say, what does Adar say when he brings it out? Oh, there are many stories of what happened to Morgoth's crown, but here it is. Oh, that pesky canon. They don't care about canon in this show. I feel like it was just inserted for promo material. That's it. And he doesn't even use it significantly. It's just using as a shield in effect. And obviously it was like very weird to choreograph this fight around. And why? It literally meant nothing. He just stabbed her with it. I feel like he could have stabbed her with any number of weapons. Anyways, here we go to the meat and potatoes, I guess, of this. It was really important that we felt the tension, the provocations, and how destabilized she felt because she was very much in love with Halbrand. I mean, there was almost like a love story. He really seduced her. He really got into her head and it destabilized her. So she knows she needs to be strong and stand up to him. So I love the moments when she reacts to something he's doing. When I'm editing, I love to have characters react to something and then show what they're responding to. Oh, great. Fascinating. How about when you're editing, you can show why Arondir just magically appeared after being stabbed in the gut several times and left to die? Isn't that important? She directed both of those episodes, by the way. This is the same director who directed both that episode of when Arondir was stabbed and the finale where he magically reappeared without injury. And Galadriel was clearly in love with him. So yeah, when he shapeshifts back into Halbrand, which by the way, he doesn't even look like how he did in season 1 or even in the premiere of season 2. He looked different. His hair was much more curly. His eyebrows were filled in. Like they gave him like filled in and shaped eyebrows. He doesn't even look like he did. We can't even have continuity in how Charlie Vickers looked as Halbrand. But doesn't surprise me at this point. And yeah, this is so atrocious. To the characters of Sauron, Galadriel, Celeborn, and again, the previous episode with Elrond and Galadriel. I guess she directed that episode too. Elrond and a passionate kiss to his future mother-in-law. What are we even doing? Tolkien has written some of the best fantasy romance stories. Also, Galadriel is married. Even the series acknowledged that, and married elves simply don't fall in love with anyone else. Yeah, she is married, and they even mentioned it. They mentioned Celeborn towards the finale of season 1, and she never mentioned him again. In season 2, no, she's just pining for Sauron this whole time. Oh, how much he destabilized her, how much he got into her head as Halbrand, how much he deceived her, which really she was just deceiving herself at that point. He never lied to her. The creators just made her that stupid. Thanks a lot, Amazon. The supposed strong female character is stupid and just hung up on a guy. How are women, if that's what you're trying to appeal to, how do you think they feel about this? I mean, personally, I feel insulted, just on a basic female viewer's perspective, because they think that they're doing us a favor. I mean, the male characters in the show are treated just as bad. We all lose. But the fact that they tout it as something to be promoted, oh, this strong female character, when literally every choice she makes isn't noble, it's not heroic, and the fact that she is married, she has given her heart to Celeborn, and vice versa. They don't love another. After that, that's it. It's one of the most wonderful things about them, about Tolkien's love stories. And this just makes it so modern day, so soap opera to have this love triangle. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. And it's such an affront to Tolkien and what he wrote. His legendarium is such an affront to the viewer. Why do they think that audiences like this or respond to it? To have your heroine, your lead character, be hung up on a guy, not her husband, and the epitome of Satan, no less. The guy who wants to dominate all the free peoples of Middle-earth. You just have her hung up on him. It's disgusting. It is so insulting, not just as a woman, but just as a general audience member. No one wants this. It doesn't belong in this. It's just a bastardization on every level, and it just shows how much they do not understand Tolkien. They don't understand his characters, his legendarium, and they don't understand the basics of filming, no less. I'm sorry, I cannot let this pass in regards to your direction of these last 2 episodes, which were so poorly executed. And the fact that you can't even be bothered to care about what happened to Arondir and like make that make sense to me. I'm sorry, I have to call out your professionalism here is very lacking. You're bad at your job. Very cookie. I can change him. I'm so tired of it. Aren't people tired of this too? This is a trope now. This is becoming a trope, and even actresses themselves are calling it out. This strong female character is now like another trope that you just roll your eyes at. It's just creative bankruptcy. And they keep putting it in like these IPs where it doesn't belong. Go to Vampire Diaries or or whatever soap you're watching. It belongs in there. You have Twilight. You have all those other things. It doesn't belong here. Tolkien fans, Galadriel is married. Rings of Power, Galadriel. We were on a break. They might as well have titled the show As Middle-earth Turns. So do the days of our second age lives. Yeah. Middle-earth 90210. Yes. It's not like there's not a place for those kinds of stories. There's a fan base for it. It just doesn't belong in here. So just whatever, create your own thing, but don't insert it to where it doesn't belong.